Pictures of naked ladies lying on my bed, with the smell of the sweet devotion, starts to sweat and jive talking in my head. What are the rest of the words of that? I want to jive talk with you. 101, 101, here we go for fun, fuck yeah. Here's what happened with that whole situation there was, I was going to do fuck like an animal, fuck like a beast. That's where I goofed, is I was thinking fuck like an animal. The song is called Animal, Fuck Like a Beast. I was looking at Blackie and all his splendidness, and I goofed the whole damn song because it was supposed to be, you know, a take on that Wasp song. Pardon me, I know I should have dropped in with a 101, episode 101, with just awesomeness. And I failed. Over and over again, I fail. But I keep trying. That's the point. What did this guy say on TikTok? He says, don't ask yourself why you're following a clown. Ask yourself why you keep going to the circus. I don't know what that means. I want to welcome you to episode 101 of Jive Talkin with Shane Diablo. Hard rock, heavy metal news, fun. We read through some stories. We have a bit of fun. We could all use a little bit of fun in our lives, right? I'm at the bus stop on my way home today, and the street kind of bows a little bit. Where that stops at, it kind of bows. So they're coming right at me, and then they swoop around. I counted 7 cars in a row where they were literally making that bow in the road with phone in hand, looking at phone. Now, you're going to say to me, that's 7 in a row. And you're going to say to me right now, well, Shane, how many cars did you actually see doing that besides the 7 that were in a row? And it's actually 27 before my eyes started to go goofy and I kind of felt like I was getting dizzy a bit, because you're darting your eyes at every car that passes so you can see. Yep. And then your mind is calculating. There's 1, bing, 2, bing, 3, bing. So it's a lot, especially for someone my age. But I welcome you. I thank you. If you've listened to 100 episodes of this, I thank you very much. And if you listen to 100 more, I thank you even more for that. Imagine, if you will, you're somebody that's maybe 20 or 30 people that listen to this. And all of a sudden, one day, I'm the next Joe Rogan. And I will remember each and every name. And I will say, yes, I'll have you on my podcast. And we'll talk for 3 hours straight. But you will say to yourself, I was there when he became the Joe Rogan too. Let's get into the news. If you're down for a little Wasp news, if you remember Blackie Lawless, they had to put a kibosh on the 40th anniversary tour because of his back. Those last 5 shows that he was trying to do, he had to sit on old Helvis, his microphone stand, motorcycle microphone. And this right here says gym rat with quotes. So I guess Blackie's a gym rat now. Let's find out what's happening with it. Gym rat. Blackie Lawless says he is getting there in his post-surgery recovery. So he's had the surgery, and hopefully he'll tell us everything that we need to know about it. Wasp frontman Blackie Lawless, who underwent 2 successful surgeries in August to treat 2 herniated discs and a broken vertebra. Not even a vertebrae, a vertebra. Offered an update on his condition in a new interview with Canada's The Metal Voice. Asked how he is doing right now and in his recovery, the 67-year-old said, as transcribed by Blabbermouth, getting there. It's been a long, long road. When you start dealing with compound injuries, which I've had over the years doing what we do, it's fairly common. I've had the same orthopedic guy for over 30 years. And I'm not joking. At the end of every tour, I crawl up on his table and I say, I'm spreading no, fix me. Fix me, Doc. Because any band that does a lot on stage and runs around is pretty active. Any band, any athlete, any dancer, you're all gonna have injuries. And it happens. And this is just part of it. But it's the first time I've had a compound situation like this. And it's been an eye-opening experience, dare I say that. It has been an eye-opening experience. And it has been a struggle, dare I say that, can I say? There's no two ways about that. It has been an eye-opening experience and a struggle. There's no two ways about it. But I've got probably the best people in the country working on me.
Really? What country? Isn't he still out of town? Doesn't he live in Bucharest or something? Ireland? England?
There's no two ways about it, but I've got the best people in the country working on me. And I don't say that lightly. I mean, these guys, they are fantastic. And we're getting where we need to go.
Is it a team effort?
It is really a team effort. It's my back, but it's their luscious, strong, virile hands that put everything back into place. And we're getting where we need to go. So, all things considered, we're doing good.
Detailing the steps of his recovery, Lawless, whose real name, now tell us that. His real name is Stephen Duran. I don't want to look up and see Fuck Like a Beast and I Want to Be Somebody and see Steve Duran singing at me, okay? I want to see Blackie Lawless. What did he say?
I've had 2 surgeries. And the first one was in mid-August. And then the second one was 2 weeks later, which would put it at the end of August. And so, then you have a preliminary healing period you have to go through, which is about 4 weeks. And then you go into physical therapy. And then that's when the fun, the real fun begins. I don't know of any other way to put it. But anybody that's ever been through serious rehab before, it is challenging.
My God, that's the one thing I love about Blackie is he can talk.
I've been a gym rat my whole life. Well,
come on.
I've been a gym rat my whole life. I've constantly lived in a gym. But there's a difference between doing this and doing what you do in a gym. Because when you're in a gym, you're usually concentrating on repetition. This is not that. This is a combination of yoga, Pilates, and what you should normally do in a gym. And the movements are considerably slower. And it's designed to target specific muscles. And you've heard the expression, you're using muscles you didn't even know you have. That is real what this is. And especially for someone who's been in gyms so much in their life. To start using them in a way you've never used before, it's an eye-opening experience. Dare I say that? There's no two ways about that. To say the least. And it's frustrating in a lot of ways because you're trying to do things that at one time you didn't even think about. And then you're going to try to do it now. And there's certain things that just won't work.
Blackie, are you a gym rat? I don't know. You know about that. Maybe you are, maybe you're not. But if you are, then you're just doing the same kinds of things that I do, where you just get on the treadmill, and any gym fool that you see on the fucking internet will tell you, don't keep doing the same things. Remember, repetition? Don't keep doing the same things. You got to do something else. You got to wake up different muscle groups.
One of the things they emphasized to me when we first started was this concept of
turning the muscles on with some romantic lighting and some cocoa butter. Because what happens when you've had injuries, the muscle literally wants to go to sleep. It wants to go to sleep. And so the trick is to turn them on with them feelings like they're being assaulted.
Jesus. Blackie.
And like I said, the guys I'm working with, they are the best in the country.
You said that was the surgery guys, though. And the surgery's done. Now you're talking about recovery. You're talking about rehab. Are they the best in the country, too? So you're saying you got the best surgeons and the best? This guy's got the best. He's got the best of everything.
As a matter of fact, it was interesting because I was watching Monday Night Football, which I watch all the time, about 6 weeks ago when Aaron Rodgers tore his Achilles. 48 hours later, they had him in the same hospital down in Marina del Rey where I was at.
Okay, so that answers that. He's in California.
Same doctors working on him. And I saw about 10, 12 days ago, he's on TV, he's throwing a football already off his back foot. So the science of sports medicine is so much more advanced than regular medicine.
Well, why aren't the sports medicine guys healing cancer then? Okay, we're done with him. There's Blackie. He's standing straighter than ever. This is an old photo, right? But I'm sure this old gym rat here, he's going to get at it. Lzzy Hale, we love her. Isn't she wonderful? Wonderful. What great singer, great, this picture's not the greatest picture. I was going to say, she's nice, a good guitar player, good to look at. This one's, she looks like AI, quite frankly, some kind of an alien cross species. But how Hailstorm's Lzzy Hale takes care of her singing voice while on tour. The only way you can do that. And this has been studied since back when they were playing bongos and high, flutes, breathing in, like they do in New Zealand with the... The only way is with honey, lemon, hot water, pinch of cayenne pepper. That's the only way. So if she doesn't tell us that, she's probably wrong with her regimen. But then again, whatever works for her, right? Did you hear how much I drank of that? I damn near drank half the can. Liquid. Oh, I'm not going to say the brand. But it's a berry flavored water, sparkling water. I haven't had a beer in 6 weeks. I'm taking a break. I'm letting my liver live. Let's check in with Lzzy Hale, see what she does. Now, if she doesn't say the right things here, we don't want to call her liar, liar, pants on fire, but we may have to. In a new interview with Poland's Peluna Kulturka. Ooh. Pelna Kulturka. Hailstorm's frontwoman Lzzy Hale was asked if she takes care of her singing voice while on tour. She responded as transcribed, I think that at this point, we've been training for years, both inadvertently and on purpose, for the live show and for the type of stamina. And I think it's something that you almost have no choice but to learn. Especially a band like us that tours the way that we do, and for singers that sing the way I sing. Pardon me. It's that big old chug of water that I took. I have many different gears that I can go. If we're playing a live show, I want to be soft and quiet, and then I want to be loud, the loudest that I could be, and get a guttural and high and do some screaming. But I want to have all of that. So something that I've been doing for years is really getting to know my body and how it works. My body lies over the ocean. And how it works, and also knowing the signs. A lot of it is dumb. And this is going to sound really oversimplistic, but hit us with the right answer. But nothing that I do hurts, because if it hurts, you're doing it wrong. I don't know about that. I pay attention to my breathing. I drink a lot of water, and I try to get enough sleep, which is nearly impossible. The sleep part, yeah. She's a busy woman. She's got a lot of shit going on. And all those radio stations they have to be on at 4 a.m. We're here all morning long on the Yuck Yuck crew. We got Lzzy Hale sitting in. Lzzy, what do you think of that traffic outside? It's a real stinker out there. I think it's just because I've been doing it for so long. I don't really have a set warm-up routine anymore. Now it's more day-to-day. Whereas I have the ability now to wake up in the morning and know how I feel. So I'll check certain things, like I'll be humming throughout the day, and I'll know which spots I may need to work on. Or some days I wake up and I'm like, hey, it's all there. I don't really need to do anything today. Now, if I get a cold or something, I need to be a little bit more careful. But really, again, it's just listening to your own body and understanding your limits, and also understanding not thinking too much. I think that goes with all musicians, not just singers. But there's missing a T here, guys. I feel like my nose is running. It's missing a T, so I'm going to say bye. When you go out on stage, you have to kind of trust yourself and be like, okay, I know what I'm doing. I've done this before. I did it last night in Tallahassee. Don't worry about it, because there are certain times that you'll be on stage where you'll be thinking too much about it. Am I hitting the right note? That's when you put your finger in your ear. That's they go, hey. Every time they seem to hit that note, so they stick their finger in their ear, they go, oh, there we go, there's a note. I've done this before. In Tallahassee, what was the other night concert that we'd had? Don't worry about it, because there are certain times that you'll be on stage where you're thinking too much about it. Am I hitting the right? I've read all this already, and I'm doing this. And then you lose the moment, and you lose the magic of it. So I try to give that advice to people. Last month, Hale Storm's bassist Josh Smith revealed to George Botas of Portugal's Metal Globe that the band is working on its next studio album with acclaimed Grammy-winning producer Dave Cobb. Going on the Cobb? Known for his previous collaborations with the likes of Sammy Hagar, Slash, Greta Van Fleet, and Rival Sons. Well, that Rival Sons guy's taken off on TikTok, isn't he? He stands out in his garden and just plays the guitar and sings songs. It's like he might just quit Rival Sons. He's like, I'm gonna stand in my backyard. I'll stand in my corn cob garden. Cobb has shared in 9 Grammy wins, including 4 for Best American Album and 3 for Best Country Album. He's also been named Producer of the Year by the Country Music Awards and the American Music Association. I'm almost saying this like Lzzy Hale's telling us about it. And the Music Row Awards, and has been a Grammy nominee. Okay, dude, quit reading us your freaking Dave Cobb. We get it. You're great at everything you do. Lzzy, guitar, vocals, and her brother, RJ, drums, formed Hailstorm in 1998 while in middle school. Guitarist Joe Hottinger joined the group in 2003, followed by Smith in 2004. This past May, Hailstorm teamed up with the country singer Ashley McBride for a reimagining version of the band's song Terrible Things, which was originally featured on the band's latest album, Back from the Dead. We did that song, Back from the Dead. It's pretty good. Last December, Hailstorm released a deluxe edition of Back from the Dead, the Back from the Dead Deluxe Edition. Includes 7 previously unreleased B-sides, including Mine, a 1980-inspired rocker Back from the Dead Deluxe Edition, is available digitally on CD and cassette tapes, marking the first time the album has been offered in those physical formats. See, there's a good picture of her right there. We're not going to watch this video I heard talking about she didn't have the right answer for how to keep the voice going good. But there is an image of her where she doesn't look like, this one here, she's just, and I'm not even talking about makeup. I'm just saying there's something going on where you say, is this someone from a different planet or no? Let's get into this. Sharon Osbourne. Talk about it, someone from a different planet. She just needs to be gray. And you're going, my God, there's one of those grays that I saw back in 1950 get off that ship. Got right off that wrecked UFO. They say they've got the bodies. They say that they've had them. And you know what I say to that? The proof is in the pudding, baby. Show me the damn body. Show me the damn grays. Not one of these little TikTok videos that freaks me out and I go, oh my God. They are talking to it, because then I go, wait a minute. I've seen all these Star Wars movies and they can make those aliens look pretty good in those movies. So maybe this TikTok that I'm watching is not a guy having a conversation with an actual alien. But I'm just saying, if you were to put a silhouette on this image of Sharon Osbourne right now, you could say, I cannot confirm nor deny that is either a gray alien or Sharon Osbourne. But she's going to explain to us why Ozzfest stopped. Ozzy Osbourne and Sharon Osbourne, along with their beautiful, wonderful children. Jack, whom I watch on, I watch all the paranormal shows there are. And Jack Osbourne is on one, or had a season of one, called Portal to Hell. I think it's Portal to Hell. He cut out all the, let's get down to the meat and potatoes. I don't want to go to a goddamn haunted house and say, like the ghost hunters, they go to a house and they go, the good news is, yes, it was busting bottles and throwing them at our face and stuff, but there's nothing to be worried about here. I feel like the spirits here are fine. Jack Osbourne wants to go to the portals of hell. Where are the demons hanging out? That's his series. Their beautiful and wonderful, very talented children, Jack and Kelly, have released their 8th episode of their Revive podcast this week. Ozzy, Sharon, Kelly, and Jack delve into the heart-pounding history of Ozzfest, reminiscing about its epic beginnings, backstage antics, and unforgettable performances by bands like Incubus, Tool, System of a Down, Snot, Disturbed, Marilyn Manson, and the Biscuits, Limp Bizkit, and many, many more. They share stories about what made Ozzfest so special, reveal their favorite memories, and even discuss some wild and chaotic moments that happen on tour. They touch on the impact Ozzfest had on launching hard rock bands into stardom, share backstage anecdotes about various bands' shenanigans, and explore concert safety in a light of recent events. Plus, don't miss their insight on the tragic events of Astroworld. The fuck is that? Oh, was that one of them rap festivals? Tragic events at Ozzy don't know what no fucking Astroworld is. He's sitting there going, he don't know what the fuck no Astroworld is. Kelly does. She's like, I was there, and I was right next to the dead bodies laying there, dead. They were blood and dead. In a glimpse into what's coming with the Ozzfest documentary. Oh, that'll be good. An Ozzfest documentary? Asked why Ozzfest eventually stopped, Sharon said, yeah, it was a very weird beast because all of the bands were our mates. Except for that bleeding bloody goddamn Iron Maiden. They were no bleeding bloody good.
But the managers were greedy, and for some reason they thought that we were making billions on it when it was only hundreds of millions. And we weren't. We made a profit, but it was not like we couldn't retire on it. And managers and agents wanted more and more and more and more. It just wasn't cost effective anymore. We stopped because it wasn't cost effective. Ozzy, don't you remember that we stopped it because it was not cost effective?
Yeah, Sharon. Yeah, Sharon, you're right.
She continues, years and years ago, one of the bands, and I won't name him because he's a bleeding Blackie bagger. It was the second Ozzfest we did, or the third. Wouldn't go on stage until I agreed to give them $10,000 more. And they were holding everything up, and I said, of course, I'll give it to you. Pressed by Jack to name the act in question, Sharon said, the little fella himself, Glenn Danzig. Oh, Sharon, don't you dare give him that money. Jack replied, why are you going to protect that twat? All right. So sad. I was listening to Danzig the other day. That song, How the Gods Kill, or Dirty Black Summer came on. And I was like, God, I want to love Danzig, but he's such a little jerk. Now, okay, he's pressed to ask the question, and Sharon says, Glenn Danzig. Why are you going to protect that twat? Sharon went on to say she didn't give him the money that they were demanding. They went on and played, and I went, fuck you. You signed a contract. Your agent agreed to it. There should be a to it there. And you're just gouging. Ozzfest started more than 25 years ago and was the first national music festival of its kind dedicated to hard rock music. That's interesting. The event has not been traveling festivals in the U.S. since 2007's free edition. What? The show morphed into a one-off event in Dallas in 2008, took 2009 off, and played just 6 cities in 2010. Over 17,000 concert goers were in attendance for the 2017 all-day Ozzfest, which was headlined by Ozzy Osbourne, while Rob Zombie closed out the next day. The next day's Knotfest bill. 2017 was the second year Ozzy's Ozzfest had merged with Slipknot's Knotfest for a 2-day heavy metal juggernaut. A special one-night-only New Year's Eve Ozzfest took place on December 31st, 2018 at the Forum in Los Angeles, California, and was attended by 12,465 hard rockin' rockers and heavy metal fans, according to Polestar. Ticket sales for the Live Nation-produced concert totaled 1.2 million, with tickets priced from a low of $59.50 to $179.50. Well, I'm glad Sharon didn't give him that money. My whole opinion of her's changed, quite frankly. Let's get into this. Mick Mars. As you know, Mick Mars, I have not listened to Loyal to a Lie. That's the single that Mick Mars has released. I am waiting till first listens to listen to it. I think he's got a video out for the song too. But apparently, John Corabi had a couple of tunes with him, and Mick Mars explains why songs he recorded with John Corabi didn't make it on his solo album. And it better be good, Mick. It better be good. Look at John Corabi right there. This is a picture of him from a year ago. But he knows what Mick Mars is going to do. He says, I'm going to go over to Mick Mars' house. I'm going to go out of my way to go over to his vampire crypt over there. And I'm going to write some tunes with him. And he ain't going to put them on his ding-dong-dang record.
Mick Mars explains why songs he recorded with John Corabi didn't make it on the solo album during an appearance on yesterday, Tuesday, October 31st, episode of Sirius XM's Trunk Nation with Eddie Junk in the Trunk. Motley Crue guitarist Mick Mars was asked why the songs he recorded back in 2016 with former Motley Crue singer John Corabi are not included on his upcoming debut solo album, The Other Side of Mars. Mick said, transcribed by Blabbermouth,
Oh, yes, very interesting that you say that. Yes. I felt the songs were just a little not strong enough, if you get my drift. And there is a certain person that kind of interfered with that.
really?
And I'm not gonna say his name, but he is
Messed up some things up. He messed some things up?
The songs were wrong.
Pot in there. They were wrong pots in there that
Should be there and blah blah blah. It is interesting. It isn't a long story, but it is one kind of like that ain't gonna fly, so I shelved it.
I don't know if this is a good idea what I'm doing here or not, quite frankly, but asked by Eddie Trunk to clarify that it was a third party who was involved in that project, not Corabi, who kind of mucked it up. And here's Mickey says,
I was kind of duped. Yes, doped. That's all I have to say. But by a third party. And that's it. That's all. I got rid of him and went on a search for other people. I mean, look, I found Jesus. Look, I found producer Michael Wagner after a while. He lives just down the street from me.
Back in 2016, Mars released snippets of 2 solo songs, apparently called Gimme Blood.
Give me blood.
And Shake the Cage. He's into that S&M and B&D and S&M, isn't he? The tracks, which were recorded at Blackbird Studio in Nashville, where Mars has lived for about a decade, featured Corabi, who appeared on Crue's 1994 self-titled album. Corabi later said that he didn't contribute to the writing process for the 2 songs, but that he was open to collaborating with Mars on some brand new material. During a December 2021 Facebook Live session, Corabi was asked about the fate of the material he recorded with Mars. He responded, a couple of years ago, Mick asked me to sing a couple of songs, and I did it. He put snippets, little snipperdoodles of them out, but he's gone on to do a full record, and as of right now, I have no idea whether or not Mick is using the songs. It's Mick's solo record. He just asked me to sing 2 tunes. Little snipper tunes. Unfortunately, I wanted to do more. And Mick wanted me to do more, but I wasn't able to. Because of my schedule and because of Mick's schedule. So we'll all just have to wait and see. I'm sure excited to hear what Mick's record. I'm as excited to hear Mick's record just like you are. We'll see. Hopefully he'll use the songs. Maybe he didn't. I don't know. Well, he didn't. But I think that was the situation, right? Is that he was? It's a third party, so it wasn't technically John Corabi. It was a third party. Maybe that studio or whatever had some kind of everything that's recorded here we get a producer credit for or something. Who knows? I've got your comments, but we do have one more situation at hand to get to. And that is a comic book, or not a comic book, but a coloring book for Cannibal Corpse. December 1st, you can pick this up. Isn't this fun for the whole family? Death metal band Cannibal Corpse, they got a coloring book coming out. Official Cannibal Corpse coloring book coming in December. UK independent publisher Rock and Roll Coloring has unveiled the first official coloring book from Cannibal Corpse, death metal's most notorious, explicit, and successful band. Is this true? Cannibal Corpse is the most successful death metal band? I mean, they still do pretty good on the road. Featuring iconic artwork and instantly recognizable images, all printed on high-quality paper in a square format. Officially licensed and fully endorsed by both Cannibal Corpse and artist Vince Locke. These amazing designs have the potential for hours of satisfying coloring in it. The book encourages you to revel in every horrific detail of Vince Locke's unhinged imagery, letting your imagination run riot as you create your own personalized version of your favorite nightmarish Cannibal Corpse design. This better be in every Toys R Us in the world. The book contains painstakingly created renderings of each image with detailed outlines ready for you to unleash your artistic skill using pens, pencils, and paint, including artwork from the genre classics such as Tomb of the Mutilated. That's the one right there. Go look at that album cover. When I bought that CD, you could not, they had a cover over it. You could not, it's like, nope, there's a bag over it. Also butchered at birth and eaten back to life, right up to the band's latest album, Chaos Horrific. The book contains some of the nastiest, sickest, gore-filled, and blood-drenched designs ever. Probably ever in the world, right? Is there any other kind of horror coloring book that shows guts and entrails? I don't think so. Working closely with artist Vince Locke, who personally curated the book, these images are not for the faint of heart, but are perfect for fans of graphic horror fantasy art, coupled with devotees of the most deranged death metal in history. Celebrating the release of his first coloring book, Vince enthuses,
I tell you what, going over art for the book, it was surprising to see how much 30 years of collaboration yielded. It's rare that I see it all compiled together. There are a few pieces that had to be included. Some of that were favorites of myself, the bands, and some of that just lent themselves, well, to be coloring. I'm always playing, trying different materials and techniques. Hope you do the same with these coloring pages. Try watercolor markers, crayons, or colored pencils, adding your own detail. You can. It's your coloring book. You can add all the detail or not detail that you want. You'll probably go through a lot of red, but be creative and have fun. Make it your own.
yes, reflecting on his band's unlikely entry into the world of coloring books, Cannibal Corpse bassist Alex Webster says, this book is a great new way for Cannibal Corpse fans to enjoy the incredible artwork of Vincent Locke. Devised and created by two lifelong rock and heavy metal devotees, coloring book fans, Rock and Roll Coloring, that's the company that's putting this out, was formed by fans for fans. It's always good when the fans do things for the fans, right? Every effort has gone into making sure that this book does justice to the legacy of Cannibal Corpse and their sensational graphic art, courtesy of the incredible Vince Locke. Painstakingly recreated some of the most controversial death metal images of all time to ensure that fans everywhere get the most shocking creative experience possible. Coloring has proven significant mental health benefits, including mindfulness, relaxation, and increased focus, and can be enjoyed by any age group. These books provide hours of creativity and restful activity that combines, but your hand hurts. Your body is going to be, you got to lay down when you color, right? You can't sit up. You got to lay on the floor on the dirty shag carpet and color. But your arms are going to be sore from the coloring bit, but everything else will be rested up. Love the music with the love of the art. The Cannibal Corpse book follows on from the previous rock and roll coloring releases, and I had no idea about this, from heavy metal music icons such as Iron Maiden, Alice Cooper, Motorhead, Judas Priest, Thin Lizzy. You got a Phil Lynott freaking scene of the boys are going to fight and you better let them. Man, he slapped that. What does he say? Man, he just slapped him in the face and we threw around the place. I know every word of that song now. It's not coming to me. And, of course, Megadeth. Yes. The book is published on December 1st, 2023, available for worldwide shipping except Germany, where the book is not available, and can be exclusively pre-ordered via iSore merch. A limited number of the books will be available with an exclusive postcard hand-signed by Vince Locke. They got to give, and there's, look at that. That's eaten back to life right there, isn't it? Yes. If it was colored in all the way, I'd have a better idea. Look at that. Fantastic. They got to have one page in there that's corn grinder, saying, I shoot blood out of my cock. Let's get into your comments, and then we're going to call it a day with this damn thing for episode 101. Thank you all, one and all. Tell your friends, tell your enemies, tell everyone. Tune in and have a little fun. Have a little... along with coloring, this podcast, I would say, is a stress reliever. And I would also say that if you wanted to color your Cannibal Corpse coloring book while listening to this would be great for you to do. Mike Buchanan coming in here. Congrats on the 100th episode. Having been here since episode 1, I can't believe we all survived. Here's to looking forward to episode 1000. I like the way he thinks. You never cease to make me laugh. All the best for you and your entire family in the future and my friends. All the best for the future, my friend. Yes, indeed. Been around a long time, old boy. Let's keep going. Let's keep doing it. Maybe I'll have a radio show someday and you can call in. We say, we got Mike Buchanan. He's got to tell us about the weather out there. How's the weather going out there on I-5? What's going on out there? On this day, Halloween, I give you the final horror edition of movies that are bad, but we love them anyways. This one's a double feature. Thanksgiving and Thanksgiving 3. Huh? Yes, that is correct. There was never a Thanksgiving 2? Really? Is Thanksgiving the one with the evil turkey? Okay, he's going to get into it. So I combined 2 holidays in one. Trust me, if you've never seen Thanksgiving, you are missing out on one of the greatest bad B movies ever created. 5 college kids on a Thanksgiving break are hunted down by a murderous turkey. Yes. I don't know if I've ever seen it, but I remember seeing the turkey. The turkey has quite the dialogue with Duke Nukem. With a tagline of, Duke Nukem sounds familiar to me. Is that from Nukem High? With a tagline of, gobble gobble motherfucker. How can you go wrong? The movie literally starts off with the first Thanksgiving in 1621 and a topless pilgrim girl being chased and slain with a tomahawk wielded by an evil demonic turkey, which quips, "Nice tits, bitch." My heavens. Part 3 is just more murderous, rampaging turkeys killing. I think it's a trauma film, yes? There's even a musical adaptation of the film titled Thanksgiving the Musical. I've never seen it and desperately want to. Still Mike Buchanan here. So if I win the seats on the private jet for Kiss's private jet, I would have to drive 5 hours to Indianapolis to fly to Chicago, which is only 3 hours from where I live. And then what? Do I get stranded in Chicago, or will they fly me back to Indianapolis so that I can then drive 5 hours back home? Seems like a nope from me. But like I've said, I would just about kill to see the very final show from Kiss at the Madison Square Garden. I mean, that would be something. I would part of me says you should see him one last time. I saw him several times, no makeup, and then I saw him on the redo, when they put it back on in the 90s. But you nailed the Ricky Ricardo voice for Ronnie Romero. So is Rainbow even relevant anymore? I think he's doing that weird Richie Blackmore's whatever. And he wears the feather hats and the tights and all that. Can't say I was ever a big fan of the group. Mike Buchanan, Mr. Belladonna has made several rounds of singing the national anthem, and he's good at it. I believe this will be his second time singing at Denver. I mean, he's got himself a minivan, and he just drives from... there's a big red phone in his minivan. It's oh, shit. Yeah, we need you over here in Tuscaloosa. Oh, well, I'll be right there. He just zips over and sings. Plenty of videos on YouTube if you want to check it out before the game this Sunday. Still, Mike Buchanan here. Very Inspector Clouseau voice work you did for Gojira. Bravo, sir. Bravo. Gojira is a phenomenon. It did kind of sound like Inspector Clouseau now. What was that guy? He was so damn funny in the Pink Panther movies. Not Steve Martin. He's never funny. In fact, Steve Martin's one of those guys I feel like he lost his funny. And I've mentioned this before, that I feel like if you ran into him at an airport, he would be a pissed off kind of a guy. Gojira is a phenomenal band, yes indeed. Let's get into his Jive Talkin jokes of the week. Here we go. I want to send a werewolf to the moon just to mess with it. Oh shit. Why do demons and ghouls stick together? Wait for it. Because demons are a ghoul's best friend. Why can't the boy ghost have babies? Because he has a Halloweenie. Why couldn't the ghost see its mom and dad? Because they were trans parents. And finally, how do you fix a broken pumpkin? With a pumpkin patch. Duh. That's good. All right, I almost hit the reply button. You get in your heart. Gustavo coming in here. Talk about the new GNR song that got leaked, please. What's that? I didn't know there was a song leaked. I'm going to have to hit it on the next episode. Gustavo, check back. There's your heart. Miss Althea coming in. The Dumbstruck Fool says the Kiss Jet experience. Talking about that. Thank goodness they are bringing awareness to a cause and driving the proceeds to that cause. I would otherwise be blasting them for yet another cash cow idea aimed at emptying the pockets of the average hard-working fan for the sake of lining their own. And I do have to give props to the flight plan, since I was born and raised in Illinois and Indiana. While I have been on the East Coast for 40 plus years now, I still consider the Midwest my true home. Of course. Where you had those memories. As I get older, I literally go back to just being a kid and going, wasn't that fun? No responsibilities whatsoever. Nobody wanted to hear a word from you. They wanted you to go away, come back when the lights are on. Don't get in anyone's van if they have candy or cigarettes or anything. That was basically it. Come home when the lights are on and don't get in anyone's van. What if it's a station wagon? Well, station wagons are all right if it's, a lady. Joey Belladonna, Miss Althea, Joey Belladonna, kudos to him for the honor of singing the national anthem. What would be even greater, though, is if Taylor was indeed at the game and she joined him for an Anthrax medley at the halftime. Yes!
Why is it caught in the must? Why is it caught in?
Yes!
Cry for the Indians.
They could really lay something down together. She could belt out something like Caught in the Mosh. I didn't even see that. Miss Althea, I'm telling you. I didn't even see that. All right. She could belt out something like Caught in the Mosh, right? Miss Althea on Gojira. Your French accent made me think of an old Steve Martin comedy. Okay. A routine that was basically about going to a foreign country and not knowing the language, but adopting the appropriate accent while speaking English. Can get you places. Jesus, I'm going to read that again. That was horrible. And not knowing the language, but adopting the appropriate accent while speaking English can get you places. Yeah. Miss Althea, Sophie Lloyd. Again, I am breaking the no request zone rule, but I would highly recommend checking out Imposter Syndrome, the collab with Lzzy Hale, and she's in this episode. I didn't know about this. Considering it's Den's request, if you have to, just saying, I will do it. How crazy is that? Sophie Lloyd from the last episode and Lzzy Hale from this episode actually did a song together. We doing that on the first listens, or I'll check to see if there's a video. You got to do that first, right? Those two together. Tim Curry. That's his name. We were talking about Rocky Horror Picture Show and all of that. Tim Curry is the name of the Rocky Horror Picture Show actor-singer whose name was escaping you. And yes, he is awesome. Excellent, excellent. There is your heart, Miss Althea. And Steve Bernard coming in. I just wanted to shout out Steve Riley, who sadly passed away. I met him briefly when he was in LA Guns on the Hollywood Vampires tour, and he was a nice dude. Okay, I'm going to give you your heart before I don't forget. But I met LA Guns in a record store back on the first record that had Sex Action on it and stuff. And I met all of them. Tracy Guns, Phil Lewis, and Steve Riley. And he was so fucking drunk that he was making, those, where you kind of, it's like he's just on the verge of, like he's esophageal and some stuff up. And I had my Wasp t-shirt on, which I had beautifully sliced. You know when you take the razor and you do the slicing on the back? I cut the sleeves off of it. It was red. It had Blackie Lawless going, yeah! And I cut the sleeves off and I did the razoring to the back and I did the razoring to the sides of the shirt. And it was beautiful. I wore that short shirt everywhere all the time. So as soon as I got up to him, I asked him, why did you leave Wasp? And he did, it was just like he was in a complete fog and phase. He just stared off at the carpet and was like, shit. The rest of the guys were cool. The funniest bit of that was they pulled up to this record store, and I may have mentioned this before, but there was, those stylish boulders that they like to put, in as on the grass, look at that big stylish boulder. Well, the dumbass, their bus driver decided to bring the whole goddamn bus, or I guess they have to have the bus. They couldn't get in a little van to go to the record store. He brought the whole big tour bus with him, and he got it stuck on one of these rocks. So they sat in there for a long time, and they finally wedged it loose or whatever he had to do, and they got in and got out, and they were all hammered. But yes, indeedy. We did it. 101 episodes of this. I appreciate you. I thank you. I'm deeply in love with you. And We're going to see what we can get here. Give me something. Oh, shit. Oh. Come on, baby. Where we going now? Jive Talkin. Come on, baby. Where we going now? Jive Talkin. Come on, baby. We gonna do it now. Jive rockin'. Hard rockin'. Jive Talkin. Jive Talkin with your friend Shane. Jive Talkin with your friend Shane. Jive Talkin with your friend Shane. Jive Talkin with your motherfucking friend. Motherfucking friend.